Hey there, folks. Trustworthy Fat Kev Smith. Before we start casting the pods, man, let me try to sell you something first, okay? Do you like me? Do you like my friends Jason Mewes, Ralph Garman? Then guess what? We're coming to a town near you, man. We're coming your way, man. Come see a Smodco show. Tickets at csmod.com. That's SEESMOD.com. Now, if you can't come to one of our shows, you're like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to support this two-bit operation? Well, how about you kick back in your home with some family and friends and loved ones and play Monopoly. Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back Monopoly. That's right, man. You can buy from jayandsilentbob.com, the home of the secret stash, right there online, a signed edition of Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back Monopoly. Me and Mewes sign it, man. Jason Mewes, Jay himself, me, Silent Bob. And the parts are real fun, man. They got a little cock knocker, a little fist, a little Suzanne, a little blunt mobile. It's crazy, man. Get your hands on it. You get drunk, get stoned, and play a round of Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back Monopoly. Available, signed by me and Jason Mewes at jayandsilentbob.com. Now, here comes your Smodco podcast.
In your face, haters. In your face.
Why? Because I'm Brian Johnson's comic book man.
That we were hoodwinked by a girl. That's like my autobiography. Hoodwinked by a girl.
Yeah. The Brian Johnson story.
Tell him, Steve Dave.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Tell 'em Steve Dave, the second in a row with an increasingly healthy, increasingly strapping, increasingly glowing, young Brian Quinn.
Getting stronger.
Getting stronger.
Yes.
How you feeling, baby?
It's good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Life is good?
Yeah, getting there. Having an eye issue. Went for another MRI.
You got a wonky eye?
Yeah, my right eye is having issues. I'm seeing a black cloud of fog over my vision in my right eye. Did a series of eye tests last week. My eye remains perfection. My vision is 20/20. My what are they? The optical nerve is in good condition, so it's a brain issue.
How about the old brown eye? That's
my brown eye is puckered and tight. It's not been invaded by anything.
Nice.
Does that loosen up? That doesn't, right?
I don't think so. No, I think that's maybe one of the muscles that stays taut and fucking strong.
Even into middle age. Yes.
Even to senior ages, I believe.
All right.
My grandfather went to his grave with the strongest asshole in town.
It's on his tombstone. So the eye thing is troubling, but, hey.
What did they think that was?
They feel it's still left over from the virus. They feel like there's something inside my brain that is inflamed still. And it's resting on the optical nerve somewhere, and that's what's causing it. But so it's either that or brain cancer. So we're waiting to find out the results of that MRI.
There's only two options?
No, there's a million options.
Okay.
He says 90% of the options are very benign. Yeah, he goes, it's the 10% you got to worry about, which is why I did the MRI. So we're waiting back on that result.
What's it?
Yeah. If I'm dying. Before you ask that question, I've already thought about this.
Really? You've made a new will?
No, I haven't made a will. But if they tell me I have brain cancer, I've really thought about this. I'm not making this up right now.
Wow.
I want to document it on Tell 'em Steve Dave, my death. Like, I want the cancer, the fight against the cancer, the operations, everything, up until me dying and losing it, to be recorded on Tell 'em Steve Dave.
If you're a fighter, you may not lose. Just because you might not have. There's no way you can go with that attitude. You got to go like
no,
beat it.
The fight.
Didn't your dad beat it?
My dad beat it. Yeah, we're not brain cancer.
He's a Quinn, though.
Yeah.
You're a Quinn.
That's
if
right.
That beat it, why can't you beat it?
I agree. But if I do die, I want it to be with a mic in my hand.
I think Ming has already proclaimed that already. You'll be the second member of Smodco to make that proclamation.
Right.
I admire you, Quinns. The Johnsons, our constitution is so weak that we can actually catch cancer from other people.
Yeah, I'm sure it's fine though. The doctor seemed very. You know how doctors don't want to tell you.
Yeah.
He was very much like he goes. In my opinion, it's just an inflammation that's going to go away in a few weeks.
And has the cloud gotten worse or just stayed the same?
The cloud got bigger over the course of 4 days, and now it's just maintaining that.
And it just hasn't gone away.
It just does not go away. Yeah. So
should you be driving like that?
Yeah, I think it's not enough that you can't see around it, and my left eye is still pretty perfect, so so it's not so bad. I still have depth perception and everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah, thank you. But they had to dilate my pupils, which I never had done before because my vision's always been so good.
So you look like Mr. Burns and shit.
Well, yeah, they did. Hello. What was he saying in that state where he was like, he had that like,
I forget.
hi, friend. And we became all friendly and shit. Yeah. I got my pupils dilated, which was weird because they were like, there was no brown. It was like there was no brown eye. It was totally black. And then I went to that Lamb of God show that night. I couldn't drive that night. I had to get driven.
What happened? Walt reminded me about that Lamb of God show, and I never heard from you, so I was like,
no, I texted you like twice. I didn't hear back from you, so I just assumed.
I think there's something going on with my phone. People are saying they're texting me.
Yeah,
and I'm not.
You know what though? Actually, it's not. You didn't miss much.
No.
I'll tell you why. Well, the Lamb of God guys were great as always. Like went backstage, hung out with them, said hello and stuff like that. They're touring with Slipknot. And this is not a slam against Slipknot at all. It's going to sound like it, but it's not.
Or the 90 people in their band.
Yeah, it's not at all. I totally get where they're coming from. I understand it. But when they take the stage, they clear everybody out from backstage. They don't want anybody around. So I was sent from backstage to out in the audience, and drunk metal fans are unsurprisingly very enthusiastic about everything, but the ones that were enthusiastic to see me, I couldn't stay. I had to leave.
You were too popular to stay at a concert. The band was like, you were overshadowing the band.
I wouldn't say that. I would say that the way they express it is a lot of hitting. A lot of like
they're trying to hit you,
just smacking
sure
on the back.
You?
No, it's like,
are you sure? Are you sure that was appreciation?
No, I mean they weren't like clocking me, but they
was
just
more of a beating than I
Guy had a crowbar. It got weird. No, but like it's the enthusiastic, like hey, like slapping on the back, the hugging, the screaming. Like it was just like it was. And then on top of that, also Slipknot uses a lot of lights, and when your eyes are dilated, like it's just like so. It was like a piercing headache, booming metal music, and then drunk metal fans like just jumping on me and stuff like that. I was like, I gotta go. So you didn't miss that. You didn't miss that much. Lamb of God was great as always, but it was time to go, and they were off stage.
What do they call those kids? They're the black-eyed children or something. Is that what they call them? They're like you have to invite them into your house.
It's like
one of those like Slender Man type thing.
I never heard of it.
Yeah, Black-Eyed Children. I can't remember. I went to a concert as well, Slayer and King Diamond, and I was telling Walt there was a guy who had come here just prior to the show, and it was him and his friend and their wives. Or girlfriends, and they said, yeah, we're going to the show. Maybe we'll see you there. I'm thinking, no possible way.
All right.
There's just too many people there. I'm down up front. I had like, I don't know, maybe 5th or 6th row or something.
At PNC?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm in a little bit, though. I'm not quite center, but, I'm pretty close. And I see the guy who I'm pretty sure did not have seats in that area.
Right.
But he came to celebrate the Slayer in by moshing, as one normally does, concerts like that. But PNC, the seats are right up to the stage now. There's no moshing area. This was not going to slow this guy down, though. I don't know if he listens to Tell Him Steve Dave. I know he's a comic book man fan, but if he's listening, it was almost as entertaining to watch him as it was to watch the show. Huge black guy.
Oh, you talked about this on the show.
Did I?
Yeah.
Built like a
They threw him out, didn't they?
Somebody told me that he got arrested.
Yeah, you told me.
Yeah, my neighbor told me the other day that I don't know if it's
for
true
moshing.
Or not.
It's like Footloose.
Arrested for moshing.
It's like fucking Footloose in here.
Yeah, except like when Kevin Bacon was dancing, he wasn't fucking giving people
concussions.
Yeah,
and breaking bones.
This dude, man, it was just so. I know, I know the people that he was slamming into probably weren't enjoying it because it would have been like getting hit by a car. He was so not fat, just like a linebacker, strong. But to watch it, just to watch people go flying, I don't know why. It's so idiotic, but it made me laugh. It's cracking me up. I know, it's so mean.
That's great.
I moved.
Yes.
For all those people who tell me you got to get out of there, you got to get out of there.
Moving on up, huh?
In a way. In a way. First, I've promised the final update to ScreenGate.
Okay.
Now, for those who are just joining us, I was battling with a neighbor about a screen that was supposed to be in the window and wasn't. She moved it, and a bunch of other shit. So, now this is going back months and months. There was a cinder block. I was in front of my little patio area. People are constantly smoking, and they throw cigarettes into the garden. So I take a plastic bag and I go out there and I pick up all the cigarette butts, and there's a cinder block out there. And I don't know why it's in the garden, but I take it and I sort of put it to the side. No sooner did I do that than this crone's head pops out the window, and she's like, "That doesn't fucking belong there."
I thought you had made friends with her.
No.
I thought she came over and apologized and...
That was post. We hadn't spoken.
Oh, okay.
We hadn't spoken about this yet.
Okay.
And I didn't talk about the apology yet.
Right.
So that's a little spoiler alert that that she eventually did apologize. But I look up, I said, "Where does it belong?" And she's like, "Not there. Put it back." So, of course, I'm not going to put it back. Of
course.
And she's screaming at me and cursing at me. So I cursed back at her and made a remark about her haircut. Asked if she got it cut at the same place her husband did because they have the same haircuts. That sort of back and forth, right?
Yeah.
So that afternoon, I wrote a letter to her and taped it on her door. And the letter, which I have here, I'll read. I won't use her name. What were we saying? Was it Mary? I think it was Mary. Mary, I deeply regret my use of such salty language this morning. Despite your unleashing a barrage of profanity upon me for merely moving a cinder block 8 feet, I'm still not the type to curse at a woman. I only pray that being subjected to my reciprocal use of obscenity is softened by the knowledge that for the past 2 years I was completely unaware of the fact that you are female. Apologies for my presumption that you and your husband were simply engaged in a homosexual domestic partnership. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Your pal, Brian Johnson.
Did she later apologized?
So, I taped that to her door, and maybe an hour later the cops come over. And it's one of the guys I know, and he's like, "Brian, what's going on?" And I said, "Here's the situation." And she said, of course she told her version of the story, which wasn't true. And I told the guy, I said, "Look, here's what happened." And he said, "Well, she doesn't want anything to do with you." So she said, "If you leave her alone, she'll leave you alone. And I said, fine. I said, I didn't do anything this morning. You know, I cursed back at her for sure, but, you know, I moved a cinder block.
Right.
I guess it was a couple days afterwards, her window was open, and I overhear her talking about how she's going to play it cool and she's going to be nice. And then she's going to call child services on me.
Whoa.
Now, those are fighting words.
Yeah.
So.
Did you say, Mary, I hear you?
No.
No.
No, I did not give her the heads up. I went down and I spoke to my cop friend and I said, this is what I heard today. So if suddenly there's some sort of report to child services about me, I want it to be known that I heard her say this.
Right.
And actually, Suzanne had heard her say it too. And if she were to report something false like that, you know, she could be in a lot of trouble.
Right.
She never did make the report because child services never did come down. It was months later that she, for whatever reason, started talking to Suzanne and tried to apologize. But apology not accepted.
Of course.
Like, fuck off. Oh, and I also noticed, this is how long ago it was. It was cold enough that her husband, I call him Puffy because he has like this big puffy fucking weird hairdo. I noticed that he was warming up his car in the morning. And in New Jersey, you're allowed to idle your car for 3 minutes, and that's the max. This guy was idling his car for 12 minutes, 15 minutes, 18 minutes. So I have that camera outside.
That's right.
So I recorded him like 4 or 5 times. I sent it to a guy in the EPA who then comes down and will verify that it's going on.
Yeah.
And they give them a ticket. But it doesn't have to be signed by me.
Right.
It just has to be witnessed by this person. So let's just say old Puffy learned to warm his car up for less than 3 minutes at a clip.
Wow.
So we move.
Okay.
It's unceremonious. I'm happy because the people above us were super loud. And, you know, we didn't have many friends. Now, we were supposed to move. What's that?
Yeah, it's hard to figure that one out.
Yeah. Well, you guys like me, right? I think I'm a pretty decent neighbor, to be honest with you. We're very quiet. We don't cause problems. But
there's a history, though, of you with neighbors, though.
That's true.
So, I mean, let's go ahead, though.
Yeah, okay. So we were supposed to move not this past weekend, the weekend before. And it was actually right across the street from Walt.
My new place.
Walt's new place, because he's living temporarily somewhere else because his house is being raised. And the place I was moving was literally right across the street from him. And I was like, all right, like just like the old days, you know, because we used to live a couple doors down in Highlands. So we're going to move in Friday. All of a sudden, the realtor calls and she says, well, there's something else you need, and the landlord wants to meet you. And I didn't want to be like, why? Because I'm Brian Johnson's comic book man, you know. So I'm like, okay. I said, well, what do you need? And it was some fucking form, but my feeling was they didn't have the COA ready.
Here you go. Here's a copy of Vulgar Signs.
Oh, God.
Have a minifigure.
They're like, we wanted your credit report. Sorry. So I'm like, all right, well, that completely fucks me up. And I was nervous because I was supposed to move out the next day, that Saturday, which would have been not this past Saturday, Saturday before.
You were nervous to meet him?
No, I was I'm like, where the fuck am I going to go?
But why? But if he wants to meet you,
Oh, no, I wasn't nervous to meet them. But I said, okay. It was a woman. And then so Saturday came and went, and the lady can't meet us. The realtor called, texts on Sunday. She can meet you today. But we weren't going to meet her at her townhouse. The realtor says she wants to come to where we live and meet us there. And I said, why? And she's like, well, she wants to meet your cats, and she wants to, meet Sage. She said your child. And she wants to see how you live. And I said, I'm thinking, what the fuck is that supposed to mean? So I wrote back. I said, look, we have 2 kittens, not a fucking feral cat colony. I said, and if you think I'm going to subject Sage to this woman's judgment to find out if she's normal enough to fucking live in her precious condo, I said, tell her to go fuck herself. And I mean, this is verbatim. This is really what I said. And then wrote a whole fucking string of, super angry shit. And the realtor's like, okay, well, that was the only way that it was going to happen, so it's not going to happen. I find out a couple days later that the realtor made a mistake, and the reason that she was coming down, I guess, was not to check all that shit out. She was coming down just to meet the people that would be living in her townhouse, and she was bringing the lease with her.
Oh my God!
That's an instance, though. I told you. Whereas, if you didn't fire off that email so angrily, and it didn't jump to that stance, and you may, just, count to 10.
Yeah, but the weird thing is, the realtor told me, she goes, well, I would have said the same thing. But then after I found out about the lease, I was like, well, why the fuck would you have said it then? I don't know if maybe the realtor didn't know or whatever, but yeah. So in such a short amount of time and with such a shortage of housing in this area.
Right.
Hello, Pam and Edgar. So now I'm at Pam and Edgar's house. Now, this was not...
Out of the frying pan, Walt. Into the fire.
You know what, though? Isn't it nice, though, to have the whole family unit?
I was so...
The look on your face when he said that.
I was so bummed that, my sister and Darren, my brother and my other brother Eric couldn't all just come back and we could live like we used to when we were kids.
I mean...
One big happy family with a cop showing up there instead of my house downtown.
But I know that, and thankfully, that, that your mom and dad are healthy and strong. But, you may want to take these couple weeks that you're there, or months, or whatever long it is, and just...
To weaken their constitution and get them to change their will.
and just really appreciate the time that's there. Maybe really just go out of your way, no matter how annoying it may be. Just be like, just take that.
Daddy!
Just take that mindset. Like, you know what? I'll treasure these moments.
Let me count to 10.
I want to treasure these moments one day.
Right.
When I'm back there.
You mean treasure the moments where I'm there for 2 hours and he's complaining about the groceries I put into the refrigerator, or any other number of fucking minor, insignificant fucking things that I did.
You didn't get the right groceries?
No, I went up. Here's the thing. This is the
He
most...
gave you a list and you didn't buy the groceries you wanted?
Yeah, he's like, you dumbass. Here's the thing. I was prepared to move into a hotel. Hotel living is nothing new to me, It would be a higher end hotel than it would have an H and not an N in front of it, But that was the plan.
Right.
And my mother called 3 times in one day, come stay up here, saying that Edgar wanted us to stay there, blah, 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 all this other shit.
All right, all the nice things that you want to hear.
Right. So I'm like, okay, yeah, all right. And literally within 12 hours, I'm like, they're old people. They're so set in their fucking ways, and every little thing now is going to be something. And I'm like, why the fuck did I say yes?
Right.
What is wrong with me? But yeah, it'll be less than 2 weeks. So hopefully less than 1 week.
Okay.
But it is nice. I can treasure moments where I'm not being criticized or Something else.
God damn it! Make sure you know what Edgar wants in that fucking fridge.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing. I went to the store and I bought a whole bunch of stuff, and my mother, I put in the refrigerator, put in the cupboards, whatever. And Pam, my mother, goes, "What do you want for lunch?" to Edgar, and he's like looking in the refrigerator, and he's like, "I don't know. I can't see anything." Because I had bought too much food, I guess. I was like, holy fucking shit, man. If I didn't buy anything and we come in like a swarm of locusts, fucking eating the fucking woodwork and like their couch and shit, then it's a problem. If I buy enough that, it's like, hey, man, we can feed an army. It's just like, an army with 2 refrigerators, maybe.
Pins and needles, needles and pins. It's a happy man who grins.
God damn it, Quinn, if you didn't call it in like 1990. What year did we meet?
96?
If we met in 96, I think it was 97, maybe 98 at the very latest. I will never forget it. Like, we're in San Diego Comic-Con and something happened, and you said, pal, I don't think happiness is in the cards for you. He said that I remember exactly where we were standing.
That must have been like a slap of the, like a shot to the system, like somebody throwing cold water, because that's something that not a lot of people want to hear.
Nobody wants to hear that.
We were close enough friends at that point that I was like, I got to shoot straight with this guy.
I was like, this guy loves me enough to fucking tell me the truth. Like, don't look forward to life.
We're close enough friends too, right?
Yes.
I've never said that to you, but boy, I said it to my wife. Well,
you said about me to other people.
I don't know if happiness is around that corner for this guy. I just don't know if it's going to happen. But I'm pulling for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what do I know? What do I know? I was a stupid kid. You can't listen to that.
Yeah, but how many years? That was almost 20 years ago. You're still right. You got to be proven wrong.
It's in progress, though, buddy. You know what I mean? You can turn it around.
You don't ever give up on looking for happiness.
I definitely would not gauge it while you're in Pam and Edgar's basement.
Right.
Don't take stock of the situation right now.
Yeah.
Give it a month or two.
The only thing I will point at was, like, when I woke up this morning, I didn't have like 2 dogs and 2 people tromping around above us at like fucking 5 o'clock in the morning. The entire fucking like building smelled like smoke because there were such heavy smokers. My screen was where I wanted it to be.
So I like that though. I love that. You found something positive today about being there. I applaud you, and I want to pat you on the back for that. That's what we need more of, right, Q?
That's right.
I'll look for a little something every day.
You keep stringing those pearls together, and soon you'll have a pearl necklace, my friend.
Yeah, no doubt.
Like God's been fucking shooting a pearl necklace on this fucking guy for his whole life.
I call it the Jesus load. One big pearl necklace.
He's on TV? Oh, not so fast there, buddy.
Not so fast. Here, take this pill. It'll make your knee feel better. $70,000 and fucking living at my parents' house 4 years later.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, boy. Yeah, so, I don't know. So what's you know what, I never know? What's going on in the news lately? I never, ever, ever look at the internet anymore.
Right.
I only hear bad shit. People try to tell me about, like, the lion, and I'm like, I don't want to hear it. Don't tell me. Don't tell me about the fucking lion.
Head down.
Yeah.
That lion's already over with.
People
already over
have
it. I think it's done. I think it's on the way out.
Yeah. There was good news. They thought that his brother was killed. The lion's brother is famous as well, and they found him. He's still alive and well.
Now, the person who killed him, this was an American person?
Dentist, an American dentist from like Wisconsin.
Oh, so now he's like reviled. Everyone
hates him. Everybody fucking hates his guts. Mm-hmm. Rightfully so.
I'm not obviously I'm not a vegetarian. I know that the treatment of animals is horrendous in this country and many others, but the idea of trophy hunting I find repugnant. I think it's, somebody was telling me like wherever it was, Zimbabwe or Kenya, wherever the fuck he shot this thing. They're like they asked a native, a person, not a native, like he's running around with a spear, but like a person native to that area.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, we don't like lions because they attack and kill people, but that doesn't mean, to me anyway, that's not a strong defense. You can relocate a lion, especially since people have been encroaching on their natural habitat.
Well, I'll take a lion over a person fucking any day of the week.
Fuck yes. Yeah. I don't know. I don't get I can't get my head around somebody who does it. And even worse than that are the pussies who do those canned hunts. Like there's like an old circus lion, and he might be on a ranch in Texas, like some big
really?
ranch.
This exists?
Yes, and what they do is they have the lion in the cage, and they let him out, and then some fucking hunter, some jerk off, some fucking asshole dentist from Wisconsin,
If you would classify it as a hunter,
is standing there and fucking shoots him dead.
Oh my god. Never even heard of that.
That's not hunting. That's like
That-
shooting
no.
fish. That's like shooting tigers in a barrel.
It literally is, yes.
Oh,
if you were sitting in a barrel, yes. Instead of shooting tigers
So
in a
this
cage.
this poor lion lives its whole life like performing and fucking balancing on a beach ball and shit like that, and then its retirement is some fat gutted loser. From
Finally,
Wisconsin.
yes,
Right.
I get to roam a little bit, nice and warm, just like it might have been. In the Serengeti or wherever the fuck lion comes from. And here comes fat ass fucking dentist from Wisconsin with a high powered rifle.
Well, if you don't want to deal with real world news, how about Tell 'em Steve Dave world news? TSD.
That I love.
TSD on the move update.
All right.
Tell 'em Steve Dave is on the move, and you were there.
Tell him Steve Dave on the move.
An update from Taylor, who runs that library in the retirement community.
Oh, that's right. I love this story. Do we know which retirement community it is? We don't know.
It's in Seal Beach, California.
Okay, right.
He wants to let us know. Somebody checked out Tell 'em Steve Dave Volume 1 on CD completely unsolicited and of their own volition. We are now officially up to 2 checkouts. I've had the volume sitting on the shelf favorite.
I love this guy.
The staff favorite shelf for 2 months, and I've watched people pick it up and set it back down, but this time someone took it. I will report back with more news when I have it.
Wow. All right.
What is on the cover? Do we know?
Yeah, he actually made a really nice cover. Like it would be like if we got signed by a major labal. In the 90s.
Really?
Yeah, we would this would be our CD that we put out.
Cool.
It's that level of professionalism.
I am very happy that he's doing this. This is a great.
You can't be happy with those numbers.
Oh, sure. Well, I have an update, Tell 'em Steve Dave update.
On the Tell 'em Steve Dave on the news.
Kinda. This is the.
Your sneakers.
The eclectic goods saga.
Now, this isn't. I had no idea that this was running so deep. This riff.
Well,
from what I understand, this is an ongoing. This is rivaling Screengate in terms of a personal battle.
Well, no, not really. I mean, I had read that when they trashed me online and. They apologized through you, said it was a misunderstanding. Right. I said that's fine. Today on set, I shot my season 5. Season 5, we're in?
Yeah, season 5.
Episode of Comic Book Men Today, and Ming walks up to me, all a grin, happy face, and he proudly hands me a box of Converses that I guess he was supposed to give me about a month ago. And
you know what? I pile on Ming.
Yeah.
It's not his fault. These got buried behind the counter.
Okay. So I do have the Practical Jokers cons that Eclectic Goods have made me. The one that they were upset that I neither paid them.
Damn, will those fit you? Those dudes like fucking Ronald McDonald.
No, size 12.
Damn.
I'm a size 12.
They do look huge.
They look long.
I'm wearing cons right now.
It looks like you could be bouncing on a beach ball. Making a lion do flips.
What's this Impractical Jokers? It looks like paint splashes.
The inside are paint splashes. They didn't put in the work that they put on with the comic book men shoes.
No. Tell them Steve Dave shoes are killer.
The Tell them Steve Dave ones. That's what I'm saying. Like I feel like sort of rushed this into production. But hey. You know what? I got him.
You gonna wear them?
We had figured out that
they're so stiff. Or that one? Or
that's the paint. That's the paint. Well, we had figured out that I had not asked. The Elvis ones were the ones that I asked for that I never gotten. I got these. They were upset that I never said thank you nor paid them for them. I have the shoes now. Thank you. And please just let me know where to send a check and how much I owe you, and I'll get that out this week.
So these are not comps, as they say in the industry.
They are not comps. I don't expect comps, though. I don't expect comps. I was just surprised at the ferocity of their anger at me for never saying thank you or sending them things. But I got them. They're beautiful. Thank you.
Will you wear them on Practical Jokers? Or no, those will go into your on display in a trophy case.
I don't know. I don't know
if I would wear. I mean, first off, if they're seen, it's such a weird sort of like fourth wall self-awareness kind of thing.
Yeah.
Isn't that the shirts that you guys are wearing on set? The same thing.
Well, no, we're wearing TSD shirts on Comic Book Men.
Yeah, it would be like if I wore a Comic Book Man shirt
on Comic Book Men.
Okay, yes, all right. Yeah, I see your point.
Plus, I don't know how I feel yet about this whole situation. I don't know if I
think
want
for you. You know what? I think for the betterment of you.
Yeah.
And your health.
You think I should sell them for Giddim's teeth?
Wow, you know what? In Giddim's defense, he hasn't asked once if that was still going on. That's a good dude.
He knows I've been sick.
He knows you've been sick, and he was respectful that he wasn't bugging you about what you're bringing him down to sell.
Yes,
Giddim's tooth auctions.
I'm going to see Sal tomorrow. I'm going to have him sign the Rosie O'Donnell thing.
Okay.
And that auction can be up as soon as that's taken
There's
care
also
of.
the very real chance that Giddum committed suicide.
I haven't heard from Giddum in a while. So.
No, I follow him on Twitter and Instagram.
He's still active?
He's still active.
Good.
He's still eating the shittiest food known to mankind. So he's out there.
Can I give you guys an update on the 1 True 3 Championship?
Yes, please.
I'm ready to announce. I'm going to announce, since we missed last week, I'm going to announce 2. And I've seen some snide comments about the announcements that, like, I can't believe they're trumpeting these players.
Really?
As if these are gets.
Well, please tell me who is being denounced as not worthy of the get title.
Well, I don't
names.
I don't want to. But I'm just kind of like, really?
Well, who do you have thus far? And then I'll surmise. Yeah.
Get him.
Okay.
That's a get. Giddim's a get for me.
Mm-hmm.
Ming.
Right.
Mike.
Okay.
I don't know if I've announced Sunday Jeff as a player yet, but I'm ready to announce 2 names that are going to about to fucking grab onto your socks, listeners.
I know one
you
of these.
naysayers. So wait a second. So far it was Giddum, Ming, and Mike.
That was I think we only announced for 3 straight weeks.
So at least one or more of them were denounced as not being a get.
Yeah. Well, there was some.
I can kind of understand that.
Oh, come on, man.
But I think they mean, of course, they're going to do it.
P.T. Barnum didn't fucking show you a little fucking midget dwarf right away.
Oh,
he made you walk through a whole bunch of like little displays of other weird shit before you got to the really good shit.
Right. I think their point is that this was
7-foot giants.
An expectation. They're like announce someone that. Like,
all right.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it right now.
After this, should we retire Ming and send him down to Texas in a cage? Where a hunter.
I didn't know P.T. Barnum let off with midgets and dwarves for every show. He's like, granted, this is pretty shitty and boring, but at the end there'll be a really tall guy.
I know one of the people.
You know one of the people, but I'm not.
And I think the complaints are going to continue.
No, that's why I'm not going with him, Q. I'm not ready to announce him yet.
All right.
I'm ready. Like I said, I'm ready to knock some socks off. I hope you're not driving anybody.
Right.
I'm going to give a 2 for here. With double Frank action, Frank number 3 and Frank number fucking 5, all the way from Buffalo for his second appearance, regular appearance.
Is that Staten Island, Frank? Staten Island 5?
No, that's Buffalo. I left my family on Thanksgiving, Frank.
And Frank 3 is roundly despised. I don't know if he's going to be considered a get either.
Come on, man. 2 Franks.
A pair of Franks?
A pair of Franks.
All right, but what's the Buffalo Frank again? I don't remember.
He's the guy, he came
Let me get excited.
He missed out on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, he showed up on a Wednesday night.
Yeah.
We were recording before Thanksgiving, and we kind of pulled it out of him, and he abandoned his family.
But what was
and we called his girlfriend, right?
His wife.
His wife.
I don't know if we called her.
I thought we called her, and she was like, he really wanted to do it, or something like that.
Does he have an interesting
This
story?
is hardly a get. I don't even remember the guy.
Does he have an interesting story?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right now, he has just told me he is now a professor.
Well, that's going to set this afire.
Right? I mean, now we have professors listening.
Professor Frank.
He is now a legitimate, bona fide professor at a university, and he listens to Tell Him Steve Dave.
Professor of what, do you know, by any chance? I don't think it matters, but... Oh.
Something that we don't understand.
Right. Of course. Well, if it's a professor, of course not. I don't know.
Can I ask, is there any possibility of having, aside from the Zen librarian, a female 1 through 3?
I've already locked up all the players in there.
Okay.
Because
it's a sausage party.
It's all white male action.
and plus, I mean...
A little diversity around here.
Girls lying. Do we really want to paint a picture of that?
Well, what do you mean?
Do we want to paint a picture? Can we imagine if she wins?
Why? My ex-girlfriends had no problem with it.
Are they capable of telling the truth?
No, but imagine if she wins, how bad that'll look. Like a girl winning.
Yeah.
She outlied all the guys. I don't think that's what we want to come.
Yeah, but if she lost, then it would be fine. But if she was like, tee-hee, I can't lie.
Wait a second.
I'm
you're saying if she wins, if she outlies us all, it looks bad for who? For her or for us?
I think for us I think overall
that we were hoodwinked by a girl. That's like my autobiography. Hoodwinked by a girl.
The Brian Johnson story.
We got to toe a line, and we're recording this and releasing it before the release of Comic Book Man, and I think the backlash if she won could paint us in a bad light.
All right.
I don't know. I wouldn't have thought that. Yeah, I mean, I'll go with your judgment. You're almost always.
I overthink, but I don't know if But
I think that would be an achievement.
Because I mean, if we're crowning the king or queen, and the king, or in this case, if she wins, the queen of liars.
Yeah.
I'd rather not have it be a female to have to answer those harsh questions and see us paint the kind of jokes that would go along with that. I don't think
better to exclude them totally.
Well, of course we got Frank.
That'll show how diverse we are.
We got Frank. All right, you know what? All right, fuck it. I'm gonna go with three announcers. Also got Chris Ladondo. Woo! So there's 3 for right there.
We're not charging for this one, right? This is free. Okay, then
even if we were considering it. So to quiet the naysayers, you've come to the table with Frank 3, who nobody likes, as according to Reddit, Frank 5, who's a distant, vague memory for even the main players, and Ghost Pussy. In your face, haters. In your face.
And all 3 of those guys need sponsors. So if you want to get in on this,
I still don't have a sponsor.
You do have a sponsor, Q. I'm not going to reveal who it is now. I want to reveal it on the show.
All right, yeah.
But I got you something that I know you're going to love.
Oh, excellent.
A great little organization that I think is right up your alley, and you'll be proud to represent.
Oh, I'm excited now.
But I don't have anything lined up for Frank's or Chris right now. So
see, I think the smart play is on fucking Ladondo because, none of us, aside from Q, I don't really know him that well. I wouldn't know, you're truly...
Well, it's about questioning.
You're truly trying to read him as opposed to you guys know me, God knows how much we've talked about. So for him to his lies. Unless he's as bad as Ming was,
right?
It may be very difficult.
Think of that first time that Frank versus Frank goes down. How riveting will that be?
Head-to-head Franks, yes,
undeniable.
Yeah,
that's like Rocky.
This should be pay-per-view. This should be pay-per-view. Yeah. I don't know if you want to talk about it, but somebody sent in something that
something spectacular. But I think it's all about that episode.
Okay.
It's all about it revealing.
It is amazing.
Yeah.
Really?
Amazing.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
God.
All right.
But and also, I also people who have been sending stuff in. I do want to say, I'm eliminating pieces of artwork.
Okay.
So I don't want to choose a piece of artwork one over the other. Because to me, art is so subjective, and if I choose one over the other, I'm like, well, you didn't like my art.
Right.
And that's, to me, it's too. I would hate that feeling of like not being chosen because of my artwork wasn't good enough, and that's just not the case. I'm just not going with
nobody cares. That's the case. Not to be a dick.
Not just go. No, it's not that nobody cares. I just don't want anybody's feelings hurt. And they are all great pieces of art. We had pieces of artwork coming from England. Judge Dredd. Limited edition lithographs.
Oh wow!
But I'm like, it's artwork though, and I'm not gonna choose one piece of artwork over another.
Well, when I was moving, I have that. I don't remember the guy's name, but he painted a portrait of Jimi Hendrix for me.
Yeah,
it's absolutely gorgeous, and I kept it and I hung it up. But as far as being for something like this, like you say, it's very subjective. That's why it's like your CD of your band or your self-published book or whatever. We're not judging it, but it's too personal and it's too, like you say, too subjective. So it has to.
And I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings or have anybody feel kind of like, well, they didn't choose mine, they didn't like it. That's not the case.
Right. Like you send in, say, a gift card for fucking iTunes versus fucking Amazon. There's no personal thing going on there.
Well, we're not yet. We're looking more for businesses, though.
Right. Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, for example, it's like there's no personal.
All right. But that's it. If you want to get in on that, you're still a little bit of time. But so those three guys do need sponsors. If they don't get sponsors, we know what, we got enough anyway, Q.
Right.
We've got enough. I'm guarantee you, we have enough prizes to make this a battle worth winning.
Great.
Now, that is all those are all the contestants so far?
No, I got more to announce.
There's more to announce.
Wow.
Yes. I'm saving one more in the chamber.
What's underneath the barrel?
I certainly hope, like when you're busting out the likes of a Chris Lodondo, Ghost Pussy, who's next? Oh, I know who's next.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
It is a really good one.
It's a Toad?
No, I haven't heard from Toad in some time.
He's on Twitter. He's active.
Yeah, I haven't been on Twitter in a long time either.
Yeah. All right.
I don't know why.
You want to do a commercial?
Yeah, and then I want to get into a little politics after we do our commercial.
Oh, it sounds like hot button. I've sworn off it.
Yeah, Q's not into politics.
We'll see if it's too hot button
for
you.
This commercial, the show is sponsored by a very loyal sponsor for Tell 'em Steve Dave. I think maybe one of the most loyal sponsors. Yeah? MeUndies.
MeUndies.
They have really stepped up and shown that they are one of our most valuable and we can't say enough about their support. So we're hoping that you guys will maybe go out there and next time you're looking for underwear,
just give it a shot.
Make it a pair of MeUndies.
You don't have to leave the house. You can just order them.
I never got my socks.
Yeah, I never got my boxers.
MeUndies, get on the goddamn ball.
I never paid for them, so.
They one of the talking points they'd ask us to start off with. I'm going to go to you because you're the resident sex expert.
Okay, yeah. Fat sex.
Well, you're not only. I mean, but you're an expert.
Oh, I've been around.
You're an expert.
I've caroused
around the block a couple times.
We all know how sexy confidence can be.
Of course.
And that confidence comes from being comfortable. But how great can you feel if your underwear is wrinkling and riding up? MeUndies gets it. That's why they've created the world's most comfortable underwear for a daily dose of confidence. Is confidence sexy?
It's really the only thing that matters.
Is it?
Yes.
Why?
Look, it has an effect, man. Like, you could be dressed in a $5,000 suit, but if you're slouching over there in the corner and you're not feeling it, and you kind of hiding and stuff like that. Body language is so important, Walter.
You talking about a dude in a suit?
Yeah. Yeah, or women.
Okay.
Or women. Like, if you
I'm surprised you went with an example of a guy.
Well, I was talking about me.
I was hoping he was
the expert.
Oh, we're talking about women? Confidence doesn't matter. Women.
A girl
hot
in a
ass.
bodysuit.
Yeah, like it's just like a hot
really?
ass.
Yeah,
nice set of tits.
When I see a woman like that's
I'm
the
confident
one I'm
you
looking
won't
for.
want to fuck me.
I'm looking for the slouched shoulders.
Yeah.
I'm looking for the eyes cast to the ground. I'm like, why?
Confidence is your kryptonite.
Yeah.
She can't be swayed to your will.
So tell me, honey, do you dislike yourself?
Look in this mirror. Tell me what you see.
But confidence is a biggie, huh?
Yeah, it's the ultimate aphrodisiac.
Can it bring you from a 5 to a 10?
Yeah, absolutely.
It can?
Absolutely.
It can bring you from a 5 to a 10.
Well, not to a 10. A 10 is reserved.
Get crazy.
A 10 is reserved for, like, your Brad Pitt.
Supermodel.
Yeah.
You're getting on with Brad Pitt.
Sure, he's Brad Pitt. Who's gay? I'm gay?
Gay.
Who's this? Like, fucking aside from Pitt and Clooney, who's, like, the good-looking guys you point to?
I don't know.
All right.
Frank 3?
Or 5. Doesn't matter as long as it's a Frank.
Confidence, man. Because you know what? You're not going to talk to the girl if you're not confident. It's a chain of events.
And can what you're wearing underneath your clothes be that big of a factor?
I think so. Because, if you got your underwear riding up on you, or you get that chafing in between your legs, and then you just got like a couple of raw meat between your legs, or, hey, I'm going to take my clothes off later, but oh, wait, I have this whole disgusting, dingy underwear. It's no good. You're not going to want to do it. However, if you're sporting MeUndies, you can't wait to take those pants off.
You know that MeUndies is made from modal?
Of course I know that.
Who doesn't?
A fabric that's twice as soft as cotton.
That's great.
That's twice as soft as whatever underwear you're wearing right now. MeUndies has tons of colors and styles, and the only place to get a matching pair for both women and women. Well, for both men and women. They even release a new design every month. Plus, we all know that paying for shipping sucks. So MeUndies has removed that from the equation. All orders in the U.S. and Canada ship for free. That's pretty good. Free shipping.
That is very good, yeah.
You know what I never thought about? Because I haven't been to a really strip club in a long time. But MeUndies probably be great to get a lap dance in. You know?
Oh, for
nice
sure.
And soft. What's the name of that fabric?
Modal.
Yeah, you're sitting there with a modal. You're getting that lap dance. Probably feels good.
What I'm trying to figure out now, there's a girl on the Comic Book Men crew, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, normally I would say she's out of my league. I think you know who I'm talking about.
I know
now,
exactly.
I'm wearing MeUndies, a MeUndies T-shirt, and MeUndies socks.
You're in for
how
sexual.
much do my chances increase with this young lady?
You're due for a sexual harassment lawsuit then, because it's going to happen.
Yeah,
you're basically wearing Spanish fly.
Right.
You've just basically just rolled around in Spanish fly and are just now just like...
Because now I think she sees me as a fly, sitting there like rubbing my hands together like they do, with big red eyes,
vomit on
smelling
your
like
and then reheat it.
smelling like shit. I pop on some MeUndies.
Yeah.
Oh,
at least you're like a brundle fly then, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Art human.
Yeah. I resemble a human being if I pop on some MeUndies.
A free shipping queue, and to sweeten the deal, MeUndies is offering you 20% off your first order at MeUndies.com/TSD. That's a special offer just for TSD listeners. Make sure you go to MeUndies.com/TSD to get 20% off your first order so that they know TSD sent you. All right, Brian. And then you wanted to talk about politics.
Yeah, I hear that there's a new kid in town. This Donald Trump.
Well, I'll talk about this.
Who I hear bits and pieces. I don't know that much about it, but I hear people talking about him. Will he get this GOP nomination? Making jokes about girls periods, I guess.
He
says
he didn't make it. He said he wasn't talking about her menstrual cycle.
He says you could see there was blood coming out of her eyes, blood coming out of her wherever. Now, so that's what he said, and then people, I guess, are inferring that he was talking about her menstrual period.
And he says anybody who makes that connection is sick.
It would be inappropriate.
Yeah.
And he won't apologize. And go so far as to say that she should apologize to him. I mean, how can you not love him?
Oh,
he is an absolute genius.
I'll tell you the person who's rooting for him the most.
Who's that?
Is Hillary, because that is her ticket right to the White House if he's the fucking nominee.
Yeah.
She will destroy him on his history, all the shit that he said. You think it was bad now? They're just waiting for him. I mean, she shouldn't have a chance in hell of getting to be president with her history.
Right.
It was just a free ticket for her to get right into that office. Right. Not that I care either way.
Unless he wins.
Well, if he wins the election,
presidency,
he's not a chance he can win. She will make him look like she will slice and dice him
in the debates. You mean?
Yes, she will. He will not be able to withstand without saying something even more fucked up to her about her, and he'll. I mean. There's
something I'm noticing, though, that people are like, the exact reasons you're saying are the reasons people like.
Yeah, they're like, I want to get them because they're, yes, I understand.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to, I don't think she could beat, I mean, she shouldn't be able to beat anybody with her, with what the things that have gone down in her history.
Okay.
The lies and whatever.
But that's every politician, though.
True. But hers are pretty big, especially coming off the emails and the server shit, and the not taking responsibility for any shit that Clintons do. She is begging. She is just like, please let it be Donald Trump.
Right.
That's it. She's in.
I mean, I want to see him go as far as he can go because it's fucking hysterical.
It is. It really is like a sideshow.
Yeah.
But is that really? Is it just like is these the two choices that America deserves?
At this point in time, yes.
Because I mean, this is what we deserve. These are the two. Well, not. I mean, he hasn't won the nomination yet, but I mean, if those are the two nominees,
dude,
I don't understand. I mean, this is what America wanted. Then like a fucking reality star.
Yep.
And a career politician who has just done shit, illegal shit,
right?
And will still sit in the president's chair.
Yep.
What were some of her biggest lies? It was the Benghazi,
and then clearing, not following protocol about turning in destroying servers and not turning in emails, saying that she didn't have classified information on the server, and she did. I mean, you can go down the line. I mean, there's Whitewater. I mean, there's a multitude of lies, or not lies,
going
but
back
like
decades.
questionable behavior. But again, like Hugh says, show me a politician who's been in the game that long. Who doesn't? Because they're all fucking crooked. Whatever party you're in, you've taken money, you've done things, you've been bought time and time again.
I read an interview with Jimmy Carter, who's still alive and fucking kicking, and apparently his mind's still pretty sharp. And he said what you just said. He's like, at this point in time, every politician is owned and run by corporations.
Some special interest.
Yeah, he's like, it's over. He's like, unless there's some sort of enormous seismic change, he's like, we've sold our country, and we just continue to do it.
Right.
And
it's kind of deflating.
Yeah.
But when you really think about it, it doesn't matter. I mean, I don't think that it matters for me or you or Bri who's in. It's not really going to affect us. But
I thought about that too, Walt. But then I thought, think of how much your life, my life, Brian's life, everybody's life would be. We don't think it because we have no concept of it. But let's say we had honest politicians who weren't in the pocket, who really gave a shit.
Who made decisions based on what's good
right.
for the country, not what's good for big business.
Exactly. There's no telling how great life would be for all of us. We're just accustomed to, hey, I have it pretty good.
The status quo is what most people will accept.
Right. And it's like, I don't know if that's, like, how good could it be? And what are we missing out on? And we will never know.
Let's say, like, you look at your check at the end of the week.
Yeah.
Let's say the government only took out half of what they take out. The difference that would make in your life. Because you're not just talking about income taxes, like federal income taxes. You're talking about state income taxes, Social Security taxes, and then the shit that, like, sales tax. And then the taxes that really they don't call taxes, but, your tolls and this and that. And before you know it, it's like, Christ, how much do you get out of that dollar?
It's fucking insane.
For everyone in this fucking country. And it's all relative, but... for the guy who's, working and making $10 an hour and the government is, I think if you make under a certain amount per year, you shouldn't even get fucking taxed.
Oh, fuck that.
I don't think so, man. Like if you're working a low paying job.
What kind of fucking communist bullshit is that? Everybody should get taxed the same amount.
Or a flat tax.
Same amount. That's rough.
I think flat
a business
tax,
should pay like a small business should pay the same as like fucking Apple.
Yes.
Apple, from what I understand, hardly pays anything.
Yeah, of course.
Really?
I believe so.
Well, they bought their politicians to get that.
Because 15% of the small business is going to be $10,000. 15% of what Apple pays is going to be millions upon millions of dollars. So why should the government have the right to open Apple's books and say, you make this much, so I'm going to take this much? That's fucked up. That's fucked up.
You know what?
What's your tax plan, Q? What do you say?
My tax? It's just a flat tax for everybody.
Like 10% across the board.
If you make more money, you will pay more money in tax.
Right.
That's right, and that's fair. But it's just like, not only it's like you make more money, so you're going to pay more money, we're also going to tax you at a higher rate. And so like it's like they set the game against you.
Right.
It's fucking crazy, man. It's fucking crazy. And then if you want to buy a house at a certain amount in New York City, a house I can't afford anyway, but I'm sort of looking at houses now. But if you want to buy a house over $1 million in New York State or New York City, there is it's like 2.89%.
Like luxury tax.
Mansion tax.
Mansion tax.
They call it. Which means if you buy a one-bedroom apartment in Brooklyn for $1 million, which, by the way, is what it goes for, it's like you're paying a mansion tax. In New Jersey, they have that tax. It's 1%.
Now, is that it almost seems like anti-capitalism, like a punishment for capital.
But that's on top of the regular tax that you're paying already for buying $1 million house.
Right.
So it's like, how is that fair?
Or, like you die and then, you want to give what you have to your children and they're going to tax that.
Money that you got taxed on already, they're taxing for the kids. And then the kids that get it are taxed to spend it. It's like fucking insane. It's insane.
As a joke, a joker should run for president. And you know what? I believe a joker would be better as a president.
Which one?
I can see Q. I can see Q's passion. You can see it right there in his eyes.
Well, it's passion for money. I don't know what that translates.
Well, hey, I've heard you talk about your policy on foreign affairs.
Yep. Turn them to glass.
I like it.
Yep.
I think that it would resonate very well.
Yeah.
I could see, it becoming a joke, but you have the ability to inspire.
Yeah.
You could do it, Q.
I'm also
when your career is over in the entertainment field,
right?
You should look into maybe making a difference in the world of politics. You're a good speaker.
I just want to make enough money that I can just disappear and nobody sees me again, except for like once a week on Tell 'em Steve Dave. I don't really need it. It's like the more I learn about money and how the government takes it from you, the more I'm like, I'm stunned that rich people fucking haven't I don't understand how rich people like stand for this. Like how is Apple agreeing to this? Like agreed, like you said, they go through loopholes and they put their money in Sweden and they don't pay taxes anyway. But it's just like people who are making $15, $20 million a year who watch their money go out the door. Like how are they not buying senators and being like, we have to change these taxes? It's crazy. Like, who owns these senators? Poor people?
We got to buy a senator somehow. Maybe we can pool our money.
Crazy.
PSD owns a senator? That'd be awesome.
That would be amazing. I don't understand. I don't understand how we ever agreed to the government, a federal tax. I just don't understand how it was ever agreed to.
Was it? I keep hearing that like it's like voluntary to pay taxes, but you have to file, but you don't have to pay them, or you have to. I can't remember what it was, but whoever like follows whatever that is, like usually they end up in jail somehow.
Yeah, that doesn't sound right to me.
I have to say, like with going back and wrapping up the whole Donald Trump thing, the day that he announced his candidacy, and he in his speech said basically like, well, I guess not all Mexicans are rapists. I never dreamed it would go past that day.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
it's amazing. It's astounding.
America deserves what they get, basically. Because if they're willing to back that kind of statement, then I mean, basically, America just wants to see somebody on TV that they've watched on TV be in the White House. For some reason, that gets them excited.
Or maybe they're just so fucking tired of the status quo, of the fucking politicians and the bullshit and the nonsense. And here comes a guy that, even though it's not PC, and a lot of times it's just plain fucked up, here's a guy who's saying what's on his mind and completely unapologetic for it. You know?
But unfortunately, that's not good enough to hold the fucking highest ranking position in America, though, just because you're willing to not be unapologetic about saying shit that you
shouldn't have said in the first place. Right. But this is a good example. This period thing is a good example of people reading into things, trying to twist it into that politically correct thing. Like, maybe he didn't mean it that way. He didn't say that.
Right. And you got the feeling if he meant it, he would have said it.
He probably would have said it. He probably would have said time of the month or whatever.
I think it's a good bet that he meant.
Yeah, so do I.
Exactly what he was saying, and he knew what he was saying. And
really, I didn't hear it. Like I said,
but I also think that there's going to be, and I think when it happens, it's going to be ugly in some ways, a snapback to political correctness. I think it's going too far.
Be ugly.
Yeah, sure, because the only way to fight it is to drive it back in the other direction. It's untenable, the levels of political correctness. It's rising every day.
It's too much. It's too much to bear.
Too much. Like Jerry Seinfeld gives an interview, he won't do college campuses anymore. And they're like, well, why won't you do it? And he's just like, I can't take the political correctness and the fucking thin skin, weak kneed college students that we're putting out these days. And that's all he said. That's his opinion. And he got fucking slaughtered in the press. People were like, well, maybe you're not funny. Maybe it's good way to blame like the lack of your humor on the students of today. And it's just like,
except that his humor has
Jerry
fucking
Seinfeld.
Time proven. Yeah. Like one of the biggest, most popular shows in the history of television. Right. But it's not the fucking pussy-ass college students.
Right.
It's Jerry Seinfeld.
I read it, and I read it in so many different places that I was like, this is crazy. And you read that thing about the Killing Joke? Did you read that article? That made the rounds a little bit a while ago. They're turning the Killing Joke, which is the Batman show, the Batman Alan Moore comic, into an animated movie. And the fucking backlash to that renouncement was insane. People were like, the Killing Joke should be out of print.
Why?
Because Barbara Gordon gets shot in it by the Joker. Mm-hmm. And it's a female character who suffers just to make the male character have a purpose. And they're like, that sort of storytelling is now not politically correct anymore.
It's Nazi-esque.
It's crazy.
It's fucking Nazi-esque to be like, that shouldn't be allowed. This should not be allowed in print. It's fucking crazy.
And the logic is just like, all right, so... But it happens all the time. So then Batman, I read it and I was like, all right, so Martha Wayne, like, so Bruce Wayne's parents died just so he would become Batman. That has to be eradicated? Like, I'm like, it doesn't, like, it's getting to a point where it's just like, it's not worth saying or doing anything But you can only do that for so long before the snapback comes.
I think the place, even if we have to go pirate, the one place you're always going to be able to come to get the fucking straight, politically incorrect dope is Tell 'em Steve Dave.
Oof, I've been.
Unless Walter Quinn don't want to talk about hot button topics.
I mean, I've been on a muzzle since I said that I thought women weren't funny. So I don't know what you're talking about. So I don't know. And I had that snafu when I said that I thought that public breastfeeding was on the Time magazine. Also,
we're as weak needing as anybody else, I guess.
Don't be some. We're not worried.
I'm not making that stand.
Fuck it, we're pussies.
All right, the show is over. And that means it's time to get free snacks at your door from NatureBox. Another Q.
Unless you're Quinn.
Another very loyal sponsor of Tell 'em Steve Dave. 2 in 1 episode.
Possibly my favorite sponsor.
With over 100 options to choose from, get the bold flavors you crave and feel smarter about snacking. Go to naturebox.com/TSD to start your free trial. That's naturebox.com/TSD. And get a free trial today. Free snacks delivered to your door. What are you waiting for?
People must like. Oh, sorry. I say people must like NatureBox. They've been advertising with us for quite some time, so I feel like the audience must be supporting them wholeheartedly.
I hope so. Because
Whole Foods is going out of business, so you're going to need.
Are they?
You're going to need. Yeah.
What do you mean?
They're going. They've announced they're going.
Yeah, I read that because their pricing, these pricing schemes and all kinds of bullshit, and their stock price suffered, and Whole Foods may be going out of biz. A&P just shuttered a bunch of stores. Where are you going to go?
Foods.
NatureBox.
Goddamn right.
Tell 'em Steve Dave.
Answers the questions are one and the same. Cheating lies on both sides of the game. Call all the dogs and praise still can explain how we all become the weakest links in the chain. Well, the more things change, the more staying the same. A rich man, a poor man, wise men to blame. The clothes my soul never came. Just that loud paper, 1, 2, 3, 4. Leave that oil in the ground. Leave that oil in the ground. You can't go back, no one's hanging around. Leave that oil in the ground. Well, time is money and money can kill. I guess that makes time the root of evil. Cause our time's coming faster than they can drill. Can anybody stop a trail? 1, 2, 3, 4. Leave that oil in the ground. Leave that oil in the ground. You can't go back when no one's hanging around. Leave that oil in the ground. In the ground. Yeah. In the ground. No one's hanging around.